Carol Nolan TD is asking if the government wants farmers to charge combine harvesters on the side of the road. But the new climate bill isn't just about farmers, it affects you too. This is Ben Scallon with Gript Media, and these are the facts. Fine Gael's Minister for Climate Action, Richard Bruton, has published the Climate Action Amendment Bill 2019. This bill seeks to totally ban the sale of fossil fuel cars in Ireland by the year 2030. It also includes the adoption of 5 yearly carbon budgets, which will be legally required regardless of which party is in government. This means that even if the electorate voted out Fine Gael in lieu of another party, carbon budgets would still remain under Irish law. Government departments which fail to meet their climate quotas will be severely punished and will have their funding slashed. The bill also talks about establishing a Climate Action Council, which they emphasise will have gender balance on its board. Even the minister himself has described his own bill as radical and said that this is the new priority for the Dáil term. Bruton claims he is aiming to have the climate bill enacted before the upcoming general election, saying, "We must put in place a strong framework to ensure every sector, every policy, every decision delivers on the transformation that is required." Meanwhile, independent TD Michael Fitzmaurice claims the bill will cripple the rural economy and said that Minister Bruton is living in a dream world. The Roscommon Galway TD has claimed that the car manufacturer Mazda has noted that long-range batteries will be worse for the environment when manufacturing and energy consumption is taken into account. He said, "While the minister seems intent on forging ahead with this legislation, he is seemingly ignoring other potential measures." Similarly, Offaly TD Carol Nolan claims that the logic of this proposal is to eventually ban the use of petrol or diesel farm vehicles. She said, "Is the minister seriously contemplating asking farmers to charge their combine harvesters on the side of the road?" Nolan also claimed that the proposal to force everyone to buy electric vehicles is being greeted with disbelief and genuine anger in many parts of the country, but specifically in rural Ireland. Yet we've had no debate on the actual cost of climate action. And the biggest media platform in the country, RTE, which is funded by the public, isn't even willing to debate about whether or not this is necessary. Measures like carbon tax will affect all of us. Fine Gael has been strongly pushing for higher carbon tax in the last year. This means increased fees imposed on the use of any fuels like petrol, diesel and peat, to name a few examples. The government's Climate Advisory Council recently recommended that we increase carbon tax by 300% over the next 10 years. By the time this increase is completed, a bale of peat briquettes will cost an extra €2, the price of a bag of coal will increase by €9.60 and it will add €184 to your annual gas bill. But it doesn't stop there. The carbon tax on a 60-litre refill for your car will be an additional €13.76 per petrol refill and €15.72 for diesel. This will impact everyone in Ireland, but it will hit lower earning families the hardest. Due to our country's rampant housing crisis, many families are forced to commute long distances to work. If they live rurally, they may not have access to public transport options, and electric cars are still prohibitively expensive for most average income households. It seems that if you can't afford an electric car, you'll just have to walk. The average price of a new car in the Republic of Ireland is about €20,000, but the cheapest electric cars at the moment have a retail price of around 50 grand. It's way outside what most people can afford. Not only this, but AA Ireland has warned that this carbon tax increase will do almost nothing to reduce Ireland's car usage. Other critics have pointed out that Ireland's total contributions to carbon emissions amount for 0.1% of the world's total. It's claimed that all of these measures will have no significant impact on the actions of major polluters like China and India, who are ignoring the climate hysteria and focusing on growing their economies. Anti-government sentiment in rural Ireland has been at an all-time high in recent months, with events like the tractor protest in Dublin signalling a widespread dissatisfaction with the government's policies. Minister Bruton has received severe backlash for floating the controversial idea of introducing a nationwide ban on all smoky fuels, including turf, peat and coal. So this raises the question, where is all of this coming from? Who is pressuring the government to implement these policies despite backlash from the Irish people? Well, under the United Nations Paris Agreement, Ireland has committed to massively reducing its CO2 emissions. According to the government, the main areas responsible for Ireland's carbon footprint are transport, agriculture, housing and energy, which affects all of us and are some of the main areas covered in this bill. In addition to this, the government is being forced to finalise its long-term climate strategy by the European Union. In fact, Ireland's National Energy and Climate Plan for the next 10 years will soon be submitted to the EU Commission. In other words, despite protests at home and polls showing a lack of support for the carbon tax, the government is being pressured to implement this climate agenda by foreign supranational bodies like the UN and EU. Minister Bruton claimed this week that governance and accountability were central elements of his plans, but it appears that there isn't much governance or accountability left if important decisions like this are being manipulated from abroad. But what do you think? Do you support the banning of all fossil fuel cars? What do you think of the suggested turf ban? Are you happy with the government's climate budget? Be sure to share this video and let us know how you feel in the comments below. Thanks for watching.